I recently acquired a new vehicle. This is a 1999 TJ Wrangler. And boy, did I stumble into a phenomenal deal on this guy. This Jeep has no body issues other than the traditional Jeep body issues. There's a spot right here, and there's another spot on the other fender that's exactly the same. But these things are dirt cheap. You can buy the fenders anywhere. So I may end up either fixing these, or I may end up getting new fenders and having them repainted. Eventually, my plan is to have the whole Jeep redone and repainted. Now, why I say I lucked out on this is because the only part or piece of the whole body that is having a problem is right here. This is a normal place for Jeeps to have a problem. This is not pushed through. This is all still good. Surface rust here that's starting to bubble a little bit. This can be fixed very easily and very simply and very quickly. The rest of the Jeep is immaculate. Now, most of the time, what you'll find here is these old Jeeps, the frames will go bad fast, and sometimes they're beyond repair. Now, this actual frame has been fixed, but it's been fixed professionally, and I'll show you here. 90% of the time, right in here and right down here where the arms connect are usually the spots where they go bad. But this frame on both sides is really good all the way from the back to the front. If you can punch through here, it's over. This one is in excellent shape. Now, they do make frames for these Jeeps. So at some time in the future, I may actually go ahead and change it. I mean, it's a process, but it's not terrible. But you can see all my body mounts here. Everything is in great shape. So I'm very happy with this. And when you come clear up here to the front, the frame is excellent everywhere. So I am very happy with that. It has LED lights here on each side. I hate these guys because of the way that these are made. They are terrible. These two buttons right here contact these two buttons here to make the contact for your overhead third stoplight. That's a terrible design, and I am going to fix that in a way that will not do that to me again. The thing that I'm amazed at is the fact that everywhere I've looked on this Jeep inside, the body is perfect. There's no rust anywhere. Nothing on the tailgate, nothing on the back. All my body mounts are quite good. These guys are all good under here. Okay, we'll put this down. Okay, let's keep moving around the Jeep. Another LED tail light. It has 31-inch tires on it, and I'm not planning on doing anything more with that. But there is absolutely nothing on this Jeep in the body part of it that's bad. Again, you can see right here, this little spot is the companion to the other side. These will have to be addressed at least short term, and we'll see. Inside the Jeep, it is perfect. You can see the back seat. Everything underneath the floor pan here, underneath everybody's feet, is all perfect. I'm very sure that this has had a tub exchange. And when you pull up the carpeting, you can see in here that all this is completely solid and has been repainted. It's a different color than the Jeep, but I do believe that this has all been completely redone in here. It is a 3-speed automatic. It is a 4.0 6-cylinder inline engine. Everything in this Jeep is perfect. All the gauges work. I don't think the air conditioning works, but hey, I can probably work with that. But everything in here is excellent. It's a hard top that's painted the same color as the Jeep. Very happy with that. Let's go under the hood. Now, the nice thing that I like about these Jeeps is this. You can flip them up and you can set them against very gently the top. 6-cylinder, inline 6, 4.0 liter. And guess what? It's got a distributor, and I love it. All right, the only problem I had with this Jeep is the transmission. When I first got it, I didn't see any fluid leaking anywhere, anything going on. But the Jeep, when you'd roll up to a stop sign or a stoplight or something, sometimes it would stall. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I cleaned the throttle body here, and I did the start up and shut down. It's right there. And I thought maybe the sensor in the throttle body was bad, but it didn't help the stalling issue. So of course the next thing I did was check the transmission fluid. When I checked the transmission fluid, there was nothing on the stick at all. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I got the right fluid for it, which is ATF +4 Mopar. And I filled up the transmission pretty close to the top, and I tried it, and I went out and I drove it, and it worked flawlessly. Transmission worked great, no stalling, went through the gears great, nothing going on. So I thought, aha. So I came back, and when I parked it, transmission fluid was just rolling out of it. The transmission pan was leaking like a sieve. What I eventually found out is the pan had been put on with black RTV. They put it on the pan, and apparently they cleaned the pan pretty well because it stuck like crazy to that, but they tried to clean up the top of the bottom of the transmission where the pan would bolt to, and that's very difficult to do, and they didn't get it done right. So the fluid was leaking out of the transmission over top of the RTV and right out the pan. So I got a brand new OEM pan gasket, which is aluminum in the center, and then it's rubberized on the outside. And I scraped all the RTV off the pan and got that done, and got the pan super clean and alcoholed it, and then I went underneath and I alcoholed the bottom of the transmission. And what I found was there was nothing stuck to the bottom of the transmission, so none of that RTV stuck at all. And that is truth, because if you don't get every bit of it off, that RTV will not stick. It's silicone. So I put on the new pan gasket, I high-tacked it on both sides, and I put the pan back on, and everything quit leaking. I filled up the transmission to the top end, and it was fine. Now in the pan, I found a magnet, and I'm like, oh boy. So I looked at the magnet, I took my gloves off, I rubbed all the transmission fluid off in it, and I found no metal at all. So I think I lucked out. The transmission is not leaking anymore at all. It's staying full, and the transmission is operating exactly correctly. So that was the issue. It does have fuel injection, but hey, this thing runs like a champ. Everything about this Jeep is in super good shape. You can look at the inside of the inner fenders. There's no rust anywhere on this Jeep. You can look here, you can look over here, inner fenders, all nice, very, very nice. Everything about this thing tells me and screams at me that whoever had this took excellent care of it. The oil is clean. Anyway, let's go in and start this thing up, and I'll let you listen to it run. All the gauges work. There's no check engine light. There was, but it was an evap code, and I changed this tiny itty bitty little like right angle rubbery thing that was just about falling apart, and check engine light went out and never came back on. So I think this is all good. Let's go listen to this baby run. This is the venerable 4.06 prime shade. Sounds good, everything's right, no issues. Very happy with this. The only thing that irks the crap out of me is the muffler under here. For some reason, the outer shell has unhooked from the inner shell, so I will probably have to change that. So when you start this Jeep up cold and you go down the road, that muffler will vibrate for a while and make a lot of racket. Then as soon as it heats up, it quits. So I'm sure that I'll probably end up replacing the muffler and the exhaust pipe on this. You can hear that muffler rattling now. As soon as it warms up, that quits. So I'm very happy with this Jeep. I've heard a lot of people talk about that, and right or wrong, the 1997 to 1999 Jeep Wrangler TJs were arguably the best Jeep Wrangler ever made. A lot of people love these things for rock crawling. I will never do that with mine, but they are incredibly sought after. I was lucky. I paid around $4,000 for this Jeep, and it will be mine for the rest of my life. Now, in the past, when I wore a younger man's clothes, I built 2 Jeep CJ7s that are about the same as this vehicle. They had the venerable 258 in them. They were a distributor engine, and they were carbureted. And I loved my Jeeps. I wore them out, and I eventually ended up selling them, but I cannot complain. I had a good run with those. Now I have maybe arguably the best Jeep Wrangler ever made, and I'm very happy with that. So anyway, you can hear how this sounds. Let's take it for a little ride. And the other really cool thing about this Jeep, it doesn't have death wobble. It just runs. It's awesome. So let's take this thing for a little spin. Hear the muffler rattling a little bit, but that's okay. Now granted, this is an old Jeep. From 1999 to present day, this Jeep is 26 years old. And to run like it does is an amazing feat that I have to give a lot of credit to the original owners of this, who apparently took really good care of this Jeep. Now, the other thing that is crazy about this Jeep is the fact that it runs this good, and it has 222,000 miles on it, and it just goes down the road like a champ. One one of the things with this Jeep is the fact that the gas tank skid plate is getting bad. So as you guys are all aware of, you can buy anything for these Jeeps and I can get a new skid plate for between 115 and 250 bucks depending on how I want to go about it. But I'll tell you what, I am very happy with this guy. I'm going to fix this thing up to the nines because I've always loved Jeeps, and I always will. They're not for everybody. There's a lot of people who would say that, you know, don't buy Jeep. You know, they're crazy. The only thing they're good for is off-road and rock crawling. They're not a daily driver. My CJ7s that I had, I drove the wheels off those things. And I experienced death wobble on one of them, and I fixed it, and I continued to run them, and I ran them as a daily driver for years. And I just think there's nothing like a Jeep, especially a 1999 TJ Wrangler, because man, I'm hearing nothing but glowing reports of these things, and you have to know what to look at when you buy one, and I got a good one. So I am very happy with this situation. Another thing that I have to look at as well, and that is the front U-joints on the drive axles. I got to make sure that these are in good shape. They're kind of telling me they might need some attention. But other than that, and the skid plate, I'm thinking this guy is ready for the road. Anyway, that concludes this video. There will be other videos done of this Jeep over time. So, you guys have a great day. And remember, keep working hard. And don't stop. Just keep going. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.